Let's be real for a second. Do you ever feel like you're stuck on a hamster wheel, just doing the same mind-numbing tasks over and over? Copying data from one place to another, sending the same notification emails, updating spreadsheets. It just eats up so much of your day. Well, what if you could just stop? What if you could teach your computer to handle all of that for you? That's exactly what workflow automation is all about. And today, we're going to dive into how you can start reclaiming your time.
And look, we're not just talking about shaving off a few seconds here and there. A case study looked at a super common business task, processing a new customer lead, and found that by automating it, the whole thing became over 150 times faster. Just let that sink in for a moment, 150 times. What would you even do with that kind of boost in your day-to-day work?
In this chart right here, this just paints the perfect picture. That huge bar on the left, that's the manual way. It takes over 185 seconds. That's more than 3 minutes of someone's focused attention. Now see that tiny little sliver on the right? That's the automated workflow. It clocks in at just over 1 second. I mean, that's the difference between brewing a cup of coffee and just blinking. It's insane.
But it's not just about raw speed. Accuracy is a huge deal. This chart shows that the manual process had a 5% error rate. And hey, we're all human, right? Mistakes are going to happen. But the automated process, look at that, a 0% error rate. Perfect, every single time. That means your data is more reliable and you have way fewer headaches to deal with down the line.
So how in the world were these results even possible? The secret sauce behind this transformation is a tool called n8n. Let's pull back the curtain and really get into what it is and how it pulls off this kind of magic.
Okay, so at its heart, n8n, and by the way, it's pronounced n8, is basically the digital glue for all the different apps you use. Think of it as a universal translator that lets you connect all your services, pass data between them, and build these powerful automations without having to be a programming genius.
And the heart and soul of n8n is what's called a workflow. The best way to think of a workflow is like a recipe, or even better, a digital assembly line. It's a visual map where you lay out step by step exactly what you want the computer to do.
And every single step on that assembly line, that's a node. A node is just a little building block that's a specialist in one specific task. So you might have one node whose only job is to read data from a spreadsheet, another one that filters that data, and a third one that zips it off in an email. So how do all these little nodes talk to your favorite apps, like Google Sheets or Slack? Well, they do it through integrations. n8n comes packed with over 400 of these pre-built connectors. They're like universal adapters for pretty much any service you can think of, from data tools like Airtable to communication apps like Discord, and even super powerful AI tools from OpenAI.
All right, so you're probably thinking, this sounds amazing, where do I sign up? So let's talk about how you can actually get your hands on n8n, because you've got a couple of really great options depending on what you're looking for.
You've basically got two main paths. The first is n8n Cloud. This is hands down the easiest way to get started. n8n handles all the technical stuff for you. You just sign up and go. The other path is to self-host it. This is for folks who want total control over their data, maybe for privacy or security reasons. You run it on your own servers.
And hey, for anyone out there who just likes to tinker and experiment, there's an even faster way to get going. If you've got Docker installed on your computer, you can literally spin up a local n8n instance with just a single command in your terminal. It's perfect for just playing around and testing ideas.
All right, theory's great, but now for the really fun part. Seeing this stuff in action is where the light bulb really goes on. So let's walk through building this simple but super useful workflow right from scratch. So, we're going to build a workflow that's directly inspired by that crazy case study we saw earlier. The goal is simple. Anytime we get a new customer lead, we want to automatically save their info into a database like Airtable and then shoot off notifications through email and maybe even Telegram.
And building this inside n8 is actually really intuitive. It's all visual. You're just connecting dots. We can break the whole process down into 5 really straightforward steps, starting with the one that kicks everything off.
First things first. Every workflow needs a trigger. This is the event that tells your automation, okay, it's time to go. This could be something on a schedule, like run this every morning at 9 a.m., or it could be triggered by an event, like a new email landing in your inbox or a form getting submitted online.
So once that trigger fires, we bring in our action nodes. These are the workers on our assembly line to do the heavy lifting. In our example, the first action node would be for Airtable. And we basically just tell it, hey, take the name and email that just came in from the trigger and go create a new row with that info in my leads database. Simple as that.
Now, of course, n8n can't just barge into your private Airtable account. It needs permission. It needs the key to the door, and that's where credentials come in. You securely save your API keys or passwords inside n8n's Credential Manager and encrypts everything and keeps it safe, so you only have to do this setup one time.
Okay, so now you get the basic building blocks. You've got triggers, nodes, and credentials. But before you run off and start automating your entire life, let's cover a few essential tips that will help you build smarter and avoid some really common beginner's mistakes.
My number one tip for anyone starting out is this: don't reinvent the wheel. Seriously, n8n has a massive library of pre-built templates for all sorts of common tasks. Start there. Second, make the execution log your new best friend. It lets you peek inside your workflow and see the exact data that's flowing through each and every node. It's an absolute lifesaver for debugging.
And here's a huge trap that a lot of beginners fall into. They only plan for the happy path, when everything works perfectly. But what happens when an API is down or the data has messed up? Things go wrong. n8n lets you build a special error workflow. It's like a safety net that catches any failures and handles them for you, maybe by sending you a quick alert.
And on the topic of safety nets, let's talk security. This one is non-negotiable. It might seem easy to just paste your secret API key right into a node to get it working quickly, but you should never, ever do that. Always, and I mean always, use n8n's built-in encrypted credential manager. It keeps your secrets safe and makes everything way more secure. So, we've seen how automation can make you over 150 times faster and can completely wipe out human error. And with tools like n8n making this kind of power accessible to pretty much everyone, well, the only question left is, what part of your day are you going to reclaim? What repetitive task is on the clock? What are you going to automate first?